कोकणे सर ऐकू येतो का माझा आवाज? कोकणे सर आवाज ऐकू येतो माझा? ओके ओके. Hello. Welcome to all the participants of our daily webinar. Today we welcome today's resource person Dr. Reni Francis Madam, who is principal at MES Pillai College of Education and Research from Mumbai. She will speak on cybersecurity challenges and remedies during the e-learning education. Welcome, Madam, and all the participants from outside the institute and from our institute, Dr. Kokne sir, Balaji Kokne sir, and all the participants. As we are knowing that in Corona period, we have used the e-type of content learning. By using this content or developing this content, we come across to the using the internet. At that time, we may arise few challenges and difficulties which are related to cyber security. We have to take care of cyber security when we are online. Our today's resource person will enlighten this topic in detailed manner. We request you, madam, to start your speech. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. It's a pleasure that I am here today with all of you, the distinguished participants who are here. And since we are all meeting online, and we know that we have in this period of COVID, as sir rightly mentioned, we had only online as a source to communicate also and also to interact with each other. The physical distances were indeed a large distance, and uh, uh, when we took uh, the online medium for our teaching learning process, we understood that with the pros we also have the cons. It is important to know that the cons are to be identified, to be aware, and it is also important to be safe and secure, to understand how these cons will not become dangerous for us. Uh, Before we go on telling our students how we need to be careful of the cyberspace that we have, it's important that as teachers, as educators, we should be aware of the various things that our students may get distracted when we are talking about the cyber world. And hence, this entire session today, I would like to focus on few of the cyber issues that we have been seeing. Many of them we are aware of in terminologies, but probably we can just go into a little bit deeper and try to understand how these aspects of cyber issues can be identified. The second phase of my presentation is to just see how we can, what are the things that we need to remember, or how we can be careful about informing our students. So, from here, today's session, I want each one of us to take back these learnings, so that when our students are telling us something that they are experiencing, we should be able to identify that which kind of a or what kind of a cyber issue they are facing. So, I'm with your permission, may I share my screen, sir?
Yes, ma'am, you can.
Yeah. So, as Sir rightly introduced me, I'm principal of MES's Pillai College of Education and Research. We are a 32 years young institution, and we have completed our 4 cycles of NAC. The last cycle, the fourth cycle, was in Jan 2023, and we were privileged and blessed with A grade. We have been continuously and consistently having an A grade in all our cycles of NAC. Um, we are a group of institutions under the leadership of Mahatma Education Society, with our visionary leader Dr. K.M. Vasudevan Pillai and Dr. Daphne Pillai, who started the dream of education for all in 1970, and we are now, as a organization, we are 52 years as of now, and we have really seen various aspects of our education arena. We have schools, state board schools, CBSE, IB. We have B.Ed colleges. That is, we also have degree college, art, science, commerce, degree college, engineering, management, B.Ed, M.Ed, PhD. We also have architecture, and we are in five campuses. Plus, another aspect is we have 48 institutions under the banner of Mahatma Education Society, and I'm proud to be a part of this institution. And I also find myself privileged to be here today amongst all the learned group who are here, who has an eager to learn, who has an initiative that they have put forward that they can learn. And cyber safety begins here. So, what is e-learning? So, as Sir rightly said in while introducing that during Corona, we all had to depend on the e-learning, or we had to depend on technology in conveying our aspects of learning to the wider community. We understood that no longer the physical space, we would be able to meet the students, and hence the only option that we had was to go and tap the resources that was available on the internet. And when we were doing that, many of us were learning a new aspects. Many of us were understanding how to go about it. At the same time, some of us were very confident in using technology. But at the same time, we had our student community who also were struggling to certain extent in being very, very comfortable with technology. Their trial and error definitely made them learn, and also made them feel challenged to technology at this period. And hence, when we talk about e-learning, we talk about a space where we talk about anytime, anywhere learning through different learning methods, and a browser which is equipped to learn. It can be your mobile learning, it can be learning through your internet, it could be a Google Classroom, it could be a Zoom session, it could be a Google Meet now as we are having, it could be a spaced learning, a self-paced learning, it could be something that you are making the students learn through the use of technology, where regardless of the place that they are in. So when we are doing about this, we need to know how does it work, how does e-learning work. So here, when we are talking about e-learning, we need to understand that e-learning works with a combination of methods, such as the learning portal. It can be linked through certain screens or streaming videos, or like now we are at a streaming, Google Meet is a streaming site where it allows us to stream to multiple people at this point of time. We have interactive sessions, we have discussions, we have chat, we have videos, we have YouTube, many ways of communicating to the entire community or the student community. At that time, when we have this kind of aspect, we need to understand the two major components or concepts. That is, one is synchronous learning and the asynchronous learning. In a synchronous learning, right now we are having a synchronous learning where a group of participants are present in this Google Meet today. And right now I am sharing my presentation. You all are a part of it, and you are listening to it, and we are sharing it further. It's going, we may have a discussion, we'll have a kind of a live presentation that is happening. when my this presentation, it would be recorded. The same thing, if it is now put up on the YouTube, and the participants who did not attend this session can watch the presentation on the YouTube as per their convenience, and stop and come back and see the video again. It becomes an asynchronous synchronous mode. So now, right now, if you don't want, you may stop the presentation. You may go, but the presentation will still continue. Asynchronous, the presentation stops, or it is self-paced. You can pace the timing where you want to. So here in synchronous, you require all the participants to be virtually present at the same time, and here it is not necessary that everybody should attend at the same time. Each of them can do it at their own time and space. They are scheduled, timed out, they are online, they are given a proper schedule and order. Here it could be in the form of some discussion groups or chats or posting. So many a times you may have done an online course and you would have to put up a discussion. So there will be people who will comment or post certain things, and you can see all the post as a thread. So that's a part of the asynchronous. Whereas right now, if you want to have some discussion, you can definitely put it on the chat box. So this, when you're doing it live, that becomes a part of the synchronous learning. So if we are talking about, if we have understood the two aspects of learning, then we know that as teachers we offer both these concepts to our children. We offer both these opportunities of learning to our students. One is we conduct live sessions, we conduct Google Meet, we conduct Zoom sessions. We are with them, we are talking, we are teaching, and we are there with them at the time when we are conducting the session. The second one is when our students may listen to our recorded lectures at their own convenience. And when they are listening to our recorded lectures, and if they do not have, if they have some doubts or they need to clarify, they can always put a comment in the comment section, where the teacher can see the comments later and respond. So that's how the whole learning process happens. Now, one two aspects that you need to remember here, and why we should teach them about cyber security or safety, is when you are in the class and when there is a live session happening, there are ways and means that the child may be even distracted to something else. So you have to inform them what are the distractions. The second thing is when the child is not there physically present in the class in the online mode, but is going to take this learning in his or her own time. Also, at that point of time, there will be some distractions, and because of that we will be able to see, we will not. So when the child is not switching on the camera, or when the child is doing the learning by himself or herself, you do not know what is happening at the other side. So it is important for you to orient your students about the various cyber challenges or cyber issues or cyber threats that they may face when they are doing a particular task. So with this whole agenda, with this whole perspective, we as educators, we need to make our e-learning process safe. That is in making our students identify the threats and remedies of cyberspace. So let's begin with few of the threats or issues or security issues that our students face with respect to cyber world. The first one that we I would like to highlight here is about cyberbullying. If you look at this particular slide, you can see there are various cases that I have tried to put down, and these cases are scenarios or issues that a child may face. Okay, if you see that the girl is sitting quite upset because she's being blamed, she's been told as a loser, or she's told ugly, or there is a or there are likes, she doesn't receive a like, people are poking her on the social media, and there are issues, and now she's unable to cope up with this present situation. Same way, it may happen in your e-learning classroom also, when there are students who may bully their other classmates. It could be in the form of in the classroom, when the students who are trying to answer, somebody else may try to create a ruckus, does not allow to answer, does not give an opportunity to do that, argues in the class, uh, gives an gives speaks about words that are not that are prohibited in the classroom scenario, speaks about something which is not connected to the topic. So what happens is, you have to remember, in an e-classroom, in an e-learning synchronous classroom, you are at a time when all the students are in different places, and you are also in a different place. You are not in a physical classroom setup, and because you are not in a physical classroom setup, the way you intervene, the way you will come ahead and try to stop any kind of bullying will not be so effective, or will not be so spontaneous, immediate, will not happen so immediately. And plus, there will be a lot of issues that when you are dealing with students who are not in front of you. So this is one particular aspect that you need to understand when you are doing a synchronous e-learning session. There are opportunities where students may unmute themselves and speak about something to somebody else. If many of you would have seen the recent one of the videos where a teacher was teaching in the class in a synchronous mode, she was in a Zoom call, and then some student asked her some question, and she started talking talking negative about the principal. There was an HOD, but she started talking negative about the HOD, and it was all in a classroom scenario. She spoke so many things about it. So the teacher was, and all the students were there in the class, and the HOD who was there, she was continuously trying to tell, please do not address this in the classroom. The children are there. Do not speak this. Do not do anything like this. Do not say such things. But the teacher continued to speak. So what happens is, the way you can control the other person is very limited. So in synchronous learning, when you have a situation where you see one student trying to say something to another student, it could be a sign of cyberbullying, where you have to step in forward and see that such things do not happen. Because if you know, continuously when a child is bullied, there might be very heinous things that the child may would want to do, and we need to be aware of certain things like that, and not readily, not be in a position to take it forward. So we need to have a scope of how we can limit this kind of a problem. So these were few examples of cyberbullying in a physical space, but the similar thing can also happen in your classroom. So what happens in when a person is bullied? Okay, when a person is bullied in a open forum, it could be in the form of a social media that the person is bullied, or it could be in the form of comments that are made in the classroom, in a synchronous classroom, where e-learning is happening and all the students are online, and there are the comments are passed. It could also be in the form in a asynchronous classroom, where the student, through the through the discussion box, or through the chat box, through the chat medium, makes comments about other students, or maybe to other people in the chat room. So these are all making the students, there is a form of anger that is seen. So when one student says something, the other student reacts to it. Then there is isolation. Some student may leave that person and try to avoid it. There is the other person who has been bullied, feels depressed, does not feel it is comfortable to be in the class. There is illness, some kind of nervous panic attack. There is humiliation. So all these are the effects. So as a teacher, when you are there in the classroom, you need to first be aware that there might be cases of cyberbullying which is happening in the classroom. If at all you find that your students are not interacting, or when you ask them, the students shy away or do not want to answer, you need to get into this aspect deeper to find out why that student is doing this. Is it because the child doesn't know what you have asked for, or is it because there is some kind of background history of cases of cyberbullying? So these are things: the unusual behavior of students, the unusual isolation of the students, or the unusual form of humiliation or anger that is shown by the students could be because of the cyberbullying. It should also be seen that when you are doing this, there are ways when you will come to know that in the discussion room or chat boxes, there are people who would comment. Now, many a times we will see that earlier when we had YouTube sessions, we would always see that some people who would get the link for the YouTube session would come and speak something which is not good in an open forum. And there is a live chat box, chat, working. And in the live chat, people would use unprofessional language or use words which are not to be spoken in a public forum or in a public space. So at that point of time, you may see the people who are the organizers of the YouTube program, or the creators of the YouTube channel. May You might have seen that they have retracted the message. That is, they have deleted the message. So when you feel something like this also is happening, you should be aware that there are some kind of unrest in the group, and that could be because of cyberbullying. Okay. The other aspect is cyber stalking. Now, stalking somebody is like you're trying to follow that person, always be after that person. It's like, किसी का पीछा करना, या फिर कंटिन्यूसली उस पर नजर रखना, या फिर किसी तरह का उस पर दबाव डालना कुछ चीज करने के लिए, ये सब साइबर स्टॉकिंग में आता है. जब हम साइबर स्टॉकिंग के बारे में कहते हैं, तब भी ऐसा एक सिचुएशन होता है कि that student is unable to have the freedom of speech, freedom of opinion. So ये एक बहुत important aspect है हमारे लिए, because जब कोई किसी को स्टॉक करता है, जब कोई किसी को परेशान, लगातार परेशान करता है, तो वो एक कंफर्टेबल फीलिंग नहीं महसूस करता है या करती है. सो एट दैट पॉइंट ऑफ टाइम यू मे सी दैट द पर्सन is trying to avoid a scenario or avoid a situation. It is very commonly seen in a synchronous as well as an asynchronous learning. More often in synchronous learning, e-learning में, जब continuously एक student उसके ओपिनियंस देता है, तो दूसरा स्टूडेंट जो उसको स्टॉप कर रहा है, वो उसको हर बार ब्लॉक करता रहेगा या फिर टोकता रहेगा, या फिर कभी कभी उसके, जब भी वो कुछ शेयर करेगा, सो एन एडिशनल कमेंट इज गिवन और समथिंग लाइक दैट. तो एज अ टीचर यू नीड टू अंडरस्टैंड कि देयर आर केसेस ऑफ साइबर स्टॉकिंग that is happening in your e-classroom, e-learning process. उसी समय in an asynchronous, like I said, when you see some person is being really grouped up, मतलब कोई उससे घेर के, it's not a physical घेरना, हम physically उसे नहीं घेरते हैं, पर बातों से या कोई अपने व्यवहार से या साइबर के थ्रू अ साइबर, थ्रू ई लर्निंग और थ्रू द टेक्नोलॉजी, जब आप कंटिन्यूसली वो व्यक्ति को बहुत परेशान करते हो, तब एज अ टीचर you need to understand that you cannot allow this to happen in your classroom. You need to understand that that person who's being stalked may be going through a difficult situation. Cyber hacking, this is a very very dangerous thing that we have been seeing. And cyber hacking ki wajah se you can have a lot of hate emails, or online issues, fake profiles, ये सब होता है. And you have to make your students aware that when they are talking about cyber hacking, it could be sometimes their email IDs are hacked, or if their social media accounts or handles are hacked. So what happens is, when they are using their email or social media through multiple devices, एंड अगर वो डिवाइस कॉमन फोरम में यूज किया जाता है, तो ऐसे टाइम पे ये हो सकता है कि they are logged into a device, and they have forgotten to log out. And if they have forgotten to log out, it is possible that कोई और आ जाता है, तो वो ये लॉगिन यूज करके may send some mails or may use this as an opportunity to trouble this person. So you have to remember that cyber hacking is also one aspect. हमारे स्टूडेंट्स की कम्युनिटी में वी हैव टू रिमेंबर दिस इज अ वेरी वेरी dangerous and a very common thing, because they believe in sharing their devices, or using their the friends device for a quick access to something. Suppose it could happen कि हाँ मेरा फोन डिस्चार्ज हुआ है, एंड मैं तुम्हारा फोन यूज करता हूँ या करती हूँ, एंड देन यू लॉग ऑन टू योर ईमेल टू चेक समथिंग, and then you forgot to log out, and then probably that person is using that email to send some hate mails to somebody. तो ये एक एस्पेक्ट भी हमको we have to remember, that we have to tell our students that they need to be careful about their identity. So many a times, when you, even when you are doing a class, you have to make insist that their students will switch on their cameras. Do not allow them to switch off their camera, and when they are sitting with their camera on, they need to name their the people, they need to name themselves, who are they, and so that you are able to find the link to this. Because the most important aspect here we have to understand is, हमको ये नहीं पता चलता है कि वो कैमरा के पीछे कौन है और क्या हो रहा है. So it is important that you build a connect. And इससे cyber hacking से you have these issues of eavesdropping, that is man in the middle attacks. इसका मतलब है, कोई आप कुछ बात कर रहे हो किसी से, you are talking to somebody else on a topic, and there is someone else who is not a part of your conversation, and listening to you and taking that information and going further. Like, I can just give you an example, is you are going to say that today I have a class of by this professor at 5 p.m. It's on the Zoom link. Okay, it's the Zoom link is provided, it's on the Zoom. Then or it could be she says that, or he says that it is on the YouTube, and the person now knows that okay, ये professor का है, and in this class there are some other people also who are going to be there, that is his friends, other friends are also going to attend this lecture, which is on the either on the Zoom or on the YouTube. Now this person who was sitting and hearing the conversation is nothing to do, has nothing to do with this lecture, has nothing to do with the professor, has nothing to do with the content that is taught. But this person has is angry about one of the classmates, or one of the person who is attending this class. So what this person could do is get the Zoom link from some sources and join the class and start harassing this classmate or the student who is there, who is attending the lecture. This happens in a synchronous classroom. In an asynchronous classroom also, maybe what would happen is this person writes something on a YouTube where the session is over, but keeps writing something about it. So this kind of a case is a man in the middle attack, where the person who has heard some information is indirectly attacking somebody else. So we have to warn our students that they should not give out information about the lecture or online aspects, or their passwords, or their Instagram handle, or probably any social media or any media that you're using for the learning purpose. You should not give it out in the open. You should not share it with the others, the personal details, so that others do not take advantage of it. You also have a lot of phishing emails that keeps coming. You might have received, we each one of us, I'm sure, would have received a lot of phishing emails, talking about so much of winning of lotteries, or winning of this, or it could be also with respect to login here to grab this prize, and so many things. You also have these you also have a lot of phishing emails on recruitment. You have been appointed at this particular place, your job offer is this, and you will be able to do the best, and so many things. You also have this baiting attacks. A bait is जब हम मच्छी पकड़ने जाते हैं, so we have those, that's bait in our hand, that stick in our hand, and we put a small little worm at the edge, so that when the edge goes to the water, the small little fish or some feed goes to the water, the fish comes to eat the at the end of the thread, and gets caught, trapped. So like that, baiting attacks bhi hota hai. Baiting attacks are when you are given some kind of a little bit of information, and you are somehow related to that, and you want to take that opportunity and you grab it. So कई बार ऐसे होते हैं कि हमारे स्टूडेंट्स को emails जाते हैं कि your professor has given your assignment, the new password and login for this is so and so. So what happens is, वो स्टूडेंट वो नया पासवर्ड लॉगिन एंटर करता है, या फिर enter your old password and now shift it to the new password. So through that link, or through a particular password, or through some kind of information that the person clicks, the बेट मतलब एक अटैक हो गया है, साइबर सिक्योरिटी पे थ्रेट हुआ है, एंड द चाइल्ड में डू सम ट्राई टू, एंड एक स्टूडेंट का लॉगिन जो होता है वो उससे नष्ट होता है, एंड somebody starts using that login. So we have to be very careful in telling our students that these are issues with that they may have. Pre-texting attacks is pehle hi, you say something, and you are trying to tell the other person that so and so thing is happening here, so you are able to attend this or something like that. So some kind of things which make the, so स्टूडेंट्स को ये याद रखना है कि कई बार उनके असाइनमेंट्स, उनका जो गूगल क्लासरूम में उनके असाइनमेंट्स होते हैं, या उनका कोई उनका स्टूडेंट पोर्टल का लॉगिन होता है, ये सब में एंटर करेंगे. सो फॉर दैट they may get a mail, they may get some kind of a notification. ये notification सब directly without checking नहीं करना चाहिए. So how do you come to know that if you have been hacked? कैसे हमको मालूम पड़ता है कि we have been hacked, और या फिर कुछ तरह का गलती हुआ है. So how do we come to know? So first is, you will get a lot of fake antivirus message. ये तुम्हारा खत्म हुआ है, अपडेट करो. So you know what kind of an antivirus you have put on your device. But if you start getting some, and you have renewed it, you know it, but if you start getting some messages, you should understand that there is some malware dysfunction जो आपके सिस्टम में हुआ. So you have to tell your students, because क्या होता है, many a times, even when you are studying or you're doing something, there is a lot of pop-ups. These pop-ups are sometimes आपका जो search है, whatever you might have searched, or whatever you are talking, the AI is capturing it. और ये उसके बेसिस में पॉपअप्स या कुकीज होते हैं, पॉपअप्स होते हैं. गलती से अगर आपने वो पॉपअप क्लिक किया, so it takes you to a different new page, and that will have a lot of issues in your device that you are using. So you have to start identifying that, and iska first few things are, first is if you get a lot of antivirus message. Second, if you have unwanted browser toolbars, बहुत सारा toolbars आपके पास unwanted है. So some of us may see that we have opened a lot of browsers. Okay, एक browser, दूसरा browser, बहुत सारा browsers. Plus there is also nowadays students as well as we also have use our device such as our laptop or our desktop or our it could be with respect to iPads or something like that, where we use our WhatsApp access. जब हम WhatsApp access हमारे मेन डिवाइसेस को देते हैं, यू हैव टू अंडरस्टैंड वो भी एक ब्राउजर है, एंड देर आर instances when unwanted images are put on certain WhatsApp groups. तो वो आप नहीं करते हैं बिकॉज योर डिवाइस, योर कंप्यूटर और योर डेस्कटॉप has been hacked. Somebody else is trying to put that into your WhatsApp access. So remember, whenever you are using WhatsApp on the desktop, you need to log out when you are switching off your, whenever it is needed, only then you give the desktop the access to WhatsApp. Other than that, please do not give the access, because if at all your device has some kind of a malware, it will give messages to the contacts that you have on the WhatsApp. So that is also that you need to make your students understand, because students बहुत commonly आजकल उनके डेस्कटॉप्स में, बिकॉज उनको लगता है नोट्स यहाँ पर है, यहाँ रेफर कर लो, मैम को पता ही नहीं चलेगा और यहाँ पर हम लेक्चर भी बैठ रहे. तो ये सब एक चीज ध्यान देने की जरूरत है. योर इंटरनेट सर्चेस आर रीडायरेक्टेड. आप सर्च कुछ करना चाहते हो बट इट गोज टू अनदर वेब पेज. Many a time students also have these issues when they are trying to search one particular website, but it indirectly takes to other websites. So it means that there is something or someone else who is trying to access or has a control on your desktop or on your functioning. You also see a frequent, बहुत common random pop-ups. Okay, this we also should understand that जब भी हम कोई भी वेबसाइट खोलते हैं, पॉपअप्स आता ही है. And when you get these pop-ups, there are settings that allow cookie settings. So there you have to make it a point to write confirm your choices or confirm your preference. Do not allow, even if you know that website very well, you are aware of that website, in spite of that आपको ये वेबसाइट में कुकी सेटिंग्स को allow your preferences और choose your preferences को ही क्लिक करना है. कुछ नहीं होगा, it will just go down and then you will be able to see the page, and if there is something you just look at it and go. So ये हमारे students को भी बोलना जरूरी है. What happens is जब वो एक वेब पेज खोलते हैं, बहुत सारे कुकी सेटिंग्स का आता है. So people don't want to waste their time to read all that. They just click on allow, and when they allow, it becomes a chance that बहुत सारे चीज comes popping up. Many a times when we are doing a presentation, you may see that the child is trying to show something or the student is trying to show something. You may see that there are unwanted images at the side of the screen which is there. That could be because of some cookie settings which was allowed without your permission. So ये हमारे students को बताना जरूरी है, because they have to be very very clear that they should not allow any other settings during or allow for these random pop-ups. You also have received social media invitations from others. You may see that fake profiles that are made where the same image, same photos, same designation, everything, and invite is sent. Be aware of that. You need to check the credibility first before you accept anything. Your online password isn't working. Sometimes, many a times, लॉग इन जब स्टूडेंट्स एक क्लासरूम में लॉग इन करते हैं या फिर उनका आजकल बहुत सारे चीज ऑनलाइन ही है, देयर आर एवरीथिंग हैज एन ऑनलाइन, whether it is with respect to your academic bank of credit or whether it is respect to your digital digi locker, everything is online. So there are a lot of passwords that are being generated, and if it is doesn't work, then and if you have not changed it, you should think what has happened, when was it used last, and what has happened, and immediately take steps to do a forget password. When you are doing a forget password also, try to do it on, if a student is doing it or if you are doing it, if you feel that it could be a chance that there is तुम्हारा कॉलेज का या फिर कोई स्टूडेंट लॉग इन इज बीइंग टैम्पर्ड, किसी ने टैम्पर किया है, so you can ask it at a very alternate email address where you know that ये email किसी के भी पास नहीं है, you have the sole right to it, you have not used it commonly, वहां पर भेज सकते हो. From there you can start logging in. Remember, they will send you to the email ID that you write. So if I know that ये मेरा कॉलेज ईमेल है और मुझे लगता है कि ये कॉलेज ईमेल किसी ने मिसयूज किया है, I can ask for a forget password to another email ID which nobody knows and reset my password settings from there. You expect unexpected software install, continuously software install. तो ये बच्चों में ये एक बहुत कॉमन एक चीज होता है, उनको लगता है अरे हमारा स्पेस नहीं है या फिर ये कुछ करना है, सो मुझे सॉफ्टवेयर इंस्टॉल करना है. सो दैट ऑल्सो हैज टू बी टेकन केयर व्हेन वी आर डूइंग इट. You also have a lot of time when you see that the mouse and the program continuously moves. तो ये अगर आपका माउस मूव नहीं कर रहे हैं, अगर आप कुछ सिलेक्ट नहीं कर रहे, सो इफ आई डू दिस कंटिन्यूसली, कैन यू सी माई माउस इज मूव, बट हियर आई एम मूविंग इट. बट इफ आई एम नॉट मूविंग इट एंड वो कंटिन्यूसली मूव हो रहा है, then you should also understand that there is someone else who has an access to your desktop or to your device, which they have to be told and made aware of. The next is when you are cyber hacked, what you should do: reach out to a person who is trustworthy, so an adult. So as a student, they can reach out to an adult. Disengage, shut down everything, log out from everything, log out and then log in later, log off, block people who have trying to reach. Privacy settings, screenshots, stop it, report it, and first and foremost, don't ever make the child to blame themselves, because then they get into the fear of thinking why it happened and what happened and so on. So when you are doing this, you have to also remember that at any point of time you might be vulnerable to these kind of cyber hacks, so you have to be careful. The next that we are talking about is FOMO, that is fear of missing out. Now, if you see in this image, this boy who has gone off to sleep, okay, he's it's night, it's gone, but he still wants to check the in middle of the sleep. Also, he wants to check the chat. He wants to check the various social media. So that kind of a feeling is called as FOMO, that is fear of missing out. हमको डर लगा रहता है कि हम कुछ मिस कर रहे हैं या नहीं, या हमारे से कुछ चीज छूट रहा है या नहीं. वी वांट टू वी फील दैट अगर अरे मुझे अपडेट नहीं मिल रहा है, तो दैट फीलिंग इज कॉल्ड एज अ फियर ऑफ मिसिंग आउट, दैट इज कॉल्ड एज फोमो. ये हमारे स्टूडेंट्स में बहुत बहुत कॉमन है. जब हम लेक्चर भी अटेंड कर रहे हैं तब उनका ध्यान उनके व्हाट्सएप में होता है, उनका ध्यान इंस्टाग्राम में होता है, उनका ध्यान मैनी अदर सोशल मीडिया में होता है कि वहां पर क्या हो रहा है. इवन कई बार ऐसे भी होता है कि व्हेन वी आर टेकिंग अ लेक्चर एज टीचर्स, आवर स्टूडेंट्स क्लिक स्क्रीनशॉट्स एंड से दैट इसको देखो ये कहाँ पर बैठा है, उसको देखो वो क्या कर रहा है, मैम को देखो मैम कैसे बोल रही है, ये देखो ये. सो दे आर कंटिन्यूसली डूइंग दैट. एंड अगर वो उसके फ्रेंड्स रिस्पॉन्ड नहीं करते तो फिर वो बोलते अरे तुमने तो देखा ही नहीं, तू तो क्या है यार, तू देखता ही नहीं है. एंड तो वो लड़का को लगता है या लड़की को लगता है अरे मैंने कुछ बड़ा मिस कर लिया, या आई मिस्ड आउट ऑन समथिंग, और आई डिडंट कम टू नो अपडेट्स, मुझे नहीं मिला. सो दैट काइंड ऑफ अ फीलिंग इज कॉल्ड एज फियर ऑफ मिसिंग आउट, which is very 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 addictive in our students today. दे ऑलवेज फील कि उनका हाथ कंटिन्यूसली उनके फ़ोन पे होना चाहिए, विच विल मेक देम अपडेटेड, कीप अपडेटेड. तो ये एक एस्पेक्ट है विच वी हैव टू make our students understand. I know that there is only limited scope for us as educators in the classroom scenario where we can restrict their usage of phone. But what we can do is we can tell about the ill effects of FOMO and then tell them how to detach. So agar if we start continuously policing them, अगर हम moral policing, social policing करेंगे, तो students कभी हमें they may not want to listen to us, or they may feel that what is this all the time they are they are trying to restrict us. So you need to hear talk about things. Use of the device is fine, but the use of the device should be something productive. तो फोमो में आपको ऐसा याद रखना है कि you are making the students involved in the learning process, and hence your presentation, your teaching should not be something which is only concerned with the ppt or something, but in the classroom कैसे हम सिखाते हैं वैसे making them pick up. So that is very much possible in a synchronous learning. But in an asynchronous learning, जब आपका student कोई session देखता है तो वो कैसे करे? So for that you should continuously have some kind of a questioning. And when you are giving the questioning, you can also do it in the form of rearranging, reorder the question. So when we are making a Google form also for responses for students, there is an option in your Google form settings which tells you to rearrange the questions. So जो order of questions मुझे मिल रहा है वो same order my friend or my the person who's sitting next to me will not have the same order of questions. So for that you should not number the questions. हम कई बार नंबर करते हैं ना, वन क्वेश्चन नंबर वन, क्वेश्चन नंबर टू, नंबर मत करके ना करके you just put questions one after the other. Do not number the questions, and in your settings change the order. So then the child is not going to, तो नेक्स्ट क्वेश्चन क्या, अरे मेरा क्वेश्चन ये, अरे तेरा क्वेश्चन ये, तो क्या होगा, वो डिस्ट्रैक्शन अपने आप निकल जाएगा and they will be more concerned about their own paper or their own studies. So this can also be done when you are giving them while teaching synchronous. अभी जैसे हम सीख रहे, if I give you a Google form right now and tell them okay do this, so in between when you keep doing this they will be more concentrating in your kind of a teaching, because you should use abhi FOMO. If you see, I have not mentioned the full form of FOMO here, but as a Google form I'll tell them okay now tell me the full form of FOMO. So जिसने सुना नहीं होगा वो options के लिए choose करेगा. So I can change the order, so that will help the teaching process. You should also make them understand that being addictive is not good, so how you need to come out of it, and how, what are the ways of de-addiction to your particular liability or towards the entire thing. Outing is also another way where you talk about somebody's personal information. You start talking about it, you're revealing sensitive matters. Suppose if I have told my friend something very personal and she tells it to everybody, then that is outing, whereas it is again embarrassing. तो ये भी याद रखना है कि हम जब भी सोशल मीडिया या फिर डिजिटल टेक्नोलॉजी यूज करते हैं टू शेयर, do not share screenshots or do not share forwarded messages. Do not write personal things, personal passwords, personal comments, because that can be shared or a screenshot can be given and sent to others, which will again be very humiliating and embarrassing. Another aspect is body shaming. कई बार हम देखते हैं हमारे students each other को body shame करते हैं, each other को नाम निकाल कर पुकारते हैं. इट कैन बी ए मोटे, ए सुकड़िया, या फिर ए ढापनी, या फिर दिखता नहीं है क्या, मंद बुद्धि है क्या, ऐसा यूज वी हैव हर्ड that such words are used among the friends. So that also need to be, when you are aware that such words are being used, be very careful. Make them understand that you are not supposed to criticize anybody. Now remember, in a physical classroom we always have this particular situation where you are physically there, you can control a lot of things, the kind of emotion, the kind of kind of bullying, the kind of unrest आपको दिखाई देता है सामने, आप कंट्रोल कर सकते हो. पर जब हम टेक्नोलॉजी के साथ जुड़े हुए रहते हैं, हम कई बार बहुत सारा चीज़ हम नहीं देख पाते. इवन अब मेरे साथ क्या इमोशन हो रहा है, यू मे नॉट बी एबल टू अंडरस्टैंड. तो ये भी इम्पॉर्टेंट है कि जब हम कुछ भी चीज़ साइबर या टेक्नोलॉजी रिलेटेड या ई इलेक्ट्रॉनिक रिलेटेड करते हैं, तो हमें ये जानना है, वी हैव टू बी मोर डबल केयरफुल अबाउट things. So you have to start talking about, do not use such words, because kai baar when you start using, you will also see that they make put names to students, and or even to teachers. Teachers are given nicknames, and that's not something that should be allowed or be done. Cyber trolling is also one aspect. Mainly you can see that trolling is done in social media. So even in your when the children are learning through Facebook or Instagram, or it's some kind of or Twitter or something, you may see that there are certain people who continuously dislike or poke somebody, or try to troll, or try to say things that which is not good enough, and everybody is reading it. तो वो एक अलग इम्प्रेशन वो स्टूडेंट के बारे में होता है, अलग इम्प्रेशन वो टीचर के बारे में होता है. सो द मोमेंट यू आर अवेयर, you see all these things, you have to be very very careful in retracting it, in capturing it, and not allowing it to be going on a very large basis. The morphing is another thing, जहाँ पर फोटोज लेते हैं हम डिस्प्ले पिक्चर के लिए, हमारे डीपी के लिए. यू माइट हैव हर्ड ऑफ several cases where the display picture of your Facebook, of your WhatsApp, of your Insta is used by people. They morph it, and they use it in unwanted places, and they try to defame your name. So all these things you have to be very careful when you are taking pictures. So you have to tell students when they are taking pictures, when they are posting something. अभी हम कई बार असाइनमेंट में बच्चों को कहते हैं कि you have visited one particular place, you put up a photo. So if I have told that you have visited a garden, and you put up a geotag photo, and वो एक पूरा geotag photo डाल देता है, and somebody may use that photo, morph it, and use it in a very wrong manner. So you need to make the students understand how you are supposed to use the pictures. When your pictures are there, you are trying to make it like a watermark. Do not use pictures which does not need to show the whole self. Maybe it's only a face that you need to show. So they need to be made identified on how they are supposed to post pictures. Even when they are going for field visit, students take photos which are not prohibited. So all those things have to be avoided. Selfie is the number of selfies that we take to just upload one. So students are taking a lot of selfies. So we need to even orient them about that. What kind of selfies, how they are supposed to take, even when they are putting it across. See, because today for us, when we are teaching, a lot of images are important for us to prove the kind of work that we are doing. So it is important that we start looking at it very, very carefully. Fake profile is another aspect where you see your students having fake profiles with respect to the professors. Just give me a minute. Where they make fake profiles of their professors and use it in various social media, posing as so and so professor or so and so teacher, giving notes, giving this. So you need to understand that where is it possible, how will you are not going to misuse it. Even when you are putting up your profile picture, you need to understand what kind of a profile picture are you putting. It could be a verse, it could be a wording, it could be a saying, it could be a thought, it could be something, or it could be an image which is surrounded by a lot of words or a thoughts around, not your entire picture. So that people do not misuse it in any form. Also, fake profiles, you need to keep checking for yourself. You need to go on to your net continuously on the Google and try to check your names wherever, where are your names seen. And if they are the same things, you sometimes we may see, we on our single name we may have 4 or 5 Facebook accounts, or other social media accounts. So you need to go and check for yourself. That's how you will understand. So make your students also do that, to check about their Facebook or any kind of profile. Everything that we do has a digital footprint. Everything, even our session today, how many people joined in, how many people are listening to it, what device you are using, where are you sitting and using the device, which internet wi-fi facility you are using, which IP address you are using. Everything is recorded in the digital space, in the as a digital footprint. So we are not, we if we are talking about a situation that कोई हमें नहीं देख रहा है, नहीं, हमें सब लोग को सब देख रहे हैं. इफ यू इवन थिंक कि अगर आपको एक मैसेज आता है कि आपका मोबाइल फोन का रिचार्ज का टाइम हुआ है, इसका मतलब ये है कि किसी को मालूम है कि आपका रिचार्ज का टाइम खत्म हुआ है. एंड वो कौन हो सकता है? आपका नेटवर्क प्रोवाइडर हो सकता है, या नेटवर्क प्रोवाइडर कोई कॉल सेंटर में रिलेटेड है तो वो हो सकता है. देयर इज समवन हु हैज अ चेक ऑन ऑल योर एक्शंस. एंड हेंस डिजिटल फुटप्रिंट होता ही है. एंड व्हाट यू आर डूइंग, अगर एक पेज लाइक करते हो तो आप देखेंगे कि वही पेज बार बार आपके सामने आता है. सो व्हाई, व्हाट आर दे आर ऑल प्रॉम्प्ट. वो एक प्रॉम्प्ट है. तो हमारे बच्चों में भी ये होता है कि वो कोई वेबसाइट्स में इंटरेस्टेड रहते हैं और वो वेबसाइट कंटिन्यूसली सर्च करते हैं. तो वही वेबसाइट जब नहीं ना भी चाहो तो पॉपअप होता है. तो ये डिजिटल फुटप्रिंट जो है is easily, you will come to know how much is your digital footprint. So you will be able to find out that. So you need to make and the students also aware of it. So how can you manage your digital footprint is all those things that I just mentioned, where you change your privacy settings. Two-way verification try karna, that's always very useful. Two-way verification is when you are using some other device एंड आपके लैपटॉप के अलावा आपने कोई और डिवाइस से आपके ईमेल को चेक कर रहे हो, या फिर आपका सोशल मीडिया. सो देर इज अ वेरिफिकेशन that is sent to your primary email, or there is a verification code that is sent to you the mobile number that is connected. So इससे मालूम पड़ता है कि yes, somebody is accessing my mail or somebody is trying to access something. So that will help you to keep a check on yourself. Google yourself again and again, many a times at different occasions, especially when you have attended something. Keep doing a Google search about yourself. You will come to know कि आपके नाम पे कितने profiles हैं. Did you create it? If it is not, then you need to understand. Do not, keep a password saved in some places where it is easily accessible to people. List of passwords you have to maintain so that you do not forget. You also should have a secondary email, like I said, where nobody is has an access to the secondary email. It is not publicly used. You do not share that email, but you will be getting some access. जहाँ पर आपको मालूम पड़ेगा if there is any other आपके primary email में कुछ हुआ है तो आपके secondary email में वो highlight करेगा. Then what kind of searches you are making, also see what kind of search the students have made. The tools that you can use for a digital footprint. So how can you stay online safe, or what are the remedies? You need to update your apps, your aspects regularly. Do not reuse the passwords. Do make a new password. Do not use default password save buttons, because if your device is being used by many people, देन इफ यू आर हैविंग द सेम पासवर्ड सेव करके रखा है, तो जो भी वो आपके मेल ओपन करेगा वो तुरंत वैसे ही ओपन हो जाएगा, विच कैन बी मिस यूज. सो यू नीड टू अंडरस्टैंड दैट ओनली ऑथराइज्ड वेबसाइट से. सो अभी जब हम स्टूडेंट्स को प्रोजेक्ट देते हैं, ये इम्पोर्टेंट है कि उनको वेबसाइट्स जो ऑथराइज्ड है उनसे ही देने की कोशिश करना. एंड प्लस, apart from that, inculcate the plagiarism check among your students from the beginning itself. uh, Plagiarism check is not a very expensive thing, but अगर ये habit डाल दिया तो students will be able to अंडरस्टैंड कि वो कहीं से भी या कहाँ से जस्ट कॉपी पेस्ट नहीं करना है, या फिर अनएथिकल प्रैक्टिसेस नहीं यूज करना है. Your download, so administrator shouldn't be your default setting. you know uh, it should not be your login as your, it should be, you should be able to log in every time. Turn off your computer, do not just close it, just switch off. Okay, shut down your computer, because when you shut down it will be able to close down all the applications that was open. Apart from that, अगर आपके कंप्यूटर में लॉगिन करने के लिए पासवर्ड है तो वो पासवर्ड कंटिन्यू रखना है, बिकॉज एवरीबडी कैन नॉट जस्ट एंटर. Protect from hackers or from viruses. These are things that you will keep checking. जैसे कि ऐसे कोई वेब ब्राउजर का लिंक कैसे होना चाहिए, यू हैव टू कीप अ चेक on that. It cannot be http, it should be a https that you have to give. Do not give your transaction details. How to create a strong password, you have to tell your students to create a strong password with alphanumeric images that you, and punctuation marks that you can use. Passwords को change करना है. Do not use the same password for all your accounts, whether it is Facebook, email, or any other. You should change your passwords. A two-step verification, like I told, should be done, which will help the students also to be very, very careful about the usage. You need to look into all these aspects where जी आपका ईमेल अकाउंट इतना इजी नहीं होना चाहिए कि कोई भी गेस करे, बिकॉज गेस करने से वो पासवर्ड भी गेस करना इजी हो जाता है. So maybe you can have something else as your email account. Do not keep looking at the mails. On जब भी online stuff के लिए आप emails देते हैं, तो you have to remember which mail you should be giving. ईमेल एड्रेस फोर्स करते हैं तो यू शुड सी दैट वो स्पैम में नहीं जा रहा है. एंड इट ऑल्सो नीड्स टू अंडरस्टैंड, if the mail does not check the bottom of the screen, there is something that your email is being, या फिर आपके डिवाइस में कुछ issues है. Again, not going much. Checking your privacy settings. Do not accept friends. The ones that I have told in the earlier, I'm just trying to put it again, reinforcing that these are certain aspects that you need to take it carefully when you're talking about, being safe on the internet. Your PIN, your birth dates. If it is stolen, remember, install device checker to find out where your device is. Read for access permissions. Do not allow cookie settings, which will again hinder your computer access to many, allowing it to use by many. Wi-Fi password should be protected. Do not use common Wi-Fi. When you are logging on to some public place and using a common Wi-Fi, you are giving that Wi-Fi provider the access to use your phone at a particular time when it is back in the range. तो ये सब आपको देखना important है, log out करना important है, because once you're not logged out, you are still on that same system. So before I end, I just want to say that before you do any of the aspects on your learning, your e-learning, you should think that T stands for is it true, H stands for is it helpful, is it inspiring, is it necessary, is it kind. Only if you have these things, then you should go ahead and take up that kind of a material which is available, which will help us to think further. So thank you from my side. I hope we are, yeah.
Thank you, madam. Very informative and useful presentation you have made.
Thank
Useful
you, sir.
topic. So all the participants are requested to discuss about this topic with ma'am. Participants are requested to unmute and
हेलो,
discuss.
नमस्ते मैडम। मैडम मैं जय
Namaste.
सिंह बोल रहा हूँ।
हाँ,
मैडम जैसे साइबर सिक्योरिटी की बात आपने बहुत ही अच्छी की है, सभी बिंदु को छुआ आपने। जैसे ओटीपी हमारे पास आता है, अगर हम ओटीपी को ही सबसे सुरक्षित करें तो फिर तो हमें कुछ नुकसान नहीं हो सकता ना।
या तो आपके पास जब ये ओटीपी आता है तो सबसे महत्वपूर्ण चीज़ है कि आपने भी ये ओटीपी किस चीज़ के लिए यूज़ किया है। फर्स्ट यू हैव टू लुक कि ये कहाँ पर यूज़ हो रहा है। कई बार हमें ओटीपी आता है, बट मैं आपको एक एग्जांपल देती हूँ। मुझे एक कंटिन्यूसली एक ओटीपी आता था एंड आई यूज्ड टू थिंक कि ये कौन भेज रहा है। तो ओटीपी देता था एंड उसमें एक लिंक हुआ करता था कि फिल द ओटीपी इन दिस लिंक। सो आई हैड नॉट, मैंने कभी ओटीपी मांगा ही नहीं था। एंड वो जो एक है उसमें कोई मेरे ओटीपी की जरूरत ही नहीं थी, या फिर वो कोई जो टॉपिक वो जो टीएम करके आता है उसमें मेरा कोई वो जो एडिशन में कोई ये नहीं था। सो आई नेवर डिड दैट। तो कई बार हमें ये भी देखना है कि हम ओटीपी किस पर्पस के लिए करते हैं। नाउ कई आजकल शॉपिंग का एक्सपीरियंसेस भी आपको ओटीपी में से देना पड़ता है। आई मीन सम पीपल दे से दैट लिंक है, आप प्लीज ओटीपी दे दीजिए, शेयर करना, हमारे ओटीपी आएगा आपको, आप उसमें लिंक में आप हमारा शेयर कर दीजिए। बट अगर वो जरूरी नहीं है सो देन आई थिंक वी शुड अवॉइड whatever. So if you are going to a shop, आप दुकान में जाते हो और वो कहते हैं कि हम आपको लिंक भेजेंगे, ओटीपी आएगा, आप लिंक के थ्रू वो ओटीपी में आप अपना फीडबैक दे सकते हो। सो एट दोज टाइम्स यू कैन से नहीं, आप आपका ऑनलाइन फीडबैक, बिकॉज दे हैव अ ऑन फीडबैक स्क्रीन, तो आप कह सकते हैं नो आई विल गिव यू द फीडबैक राइट अवे। सो जितना हो सकता है जो unnecessary purpose के लिए आप we can avoid the use of OTP. OTP can be used only for your primary purpose, such as your banking or some kind of things that you are doing, which आपके तुरंत आपके सामने हो रहा है तो आप यूज करोगे तो it will be more secure than the other aspects.
दूसरा सवाल ये है, एक बार मेरा बैंक से ओटीपी आता है, मतलब हो सकता है बैंक से नहीं, ओटीपी आता है, फिर थोड़ी देर के बाद दूसरा मैसेज आता है, उसमें 292 रुपीज कट जाता है मेरा। तो क्या ये ओटीपी जब मैं बैंक से बात करता हूँ तो बैंक वाले इतना कह देते हैं कि आपका किसी मतलब कोई चार्जेस कटा रहा होगा, क्योंकि ये स्टेट बैंक ऑफ इंडिया की बात कर रहा है, एसबीआई की बात कर रहा हूँ, क्योंकि उनके कर्मचारियों को मैं मतलब अच्छा मानता ही नहीं हूँ, क्योंकि उनका व्यवहार जो है वो बहुत ज़्यादा मतलब अच्छा ही नहीं है। तो वो इतना कह के पल्ला झाड़ देते हैं। तो लेकिन हमारी भी मजबूरी होती है कुछ। तो क्या वो ओटीपी क्या बैंक की किसी कर्मचारी के द्वारा ही भेजा गया होगा और मेरे 292 रुपीज तो कटा है, तो ऐसा हो सकता है? लेकिन वे आगे पीछे आए थे दोनों एक ही दिन
सर
में।
जरूरी नहीं है कि ये कोई बैंक का कर्मचारी ने भेजा होगा, बिकॉज जो भी हमको ओटीपी आता है इट इज बाय द कॉल सेंटर। एनी काइंड ऑफ सच थिंग्स, बैंकिंग का जो भी है वो डायरेक्ट फेस टू फेस बैंकिंग का है। वो एम्प्लॉयज डू नॉट इन वो जो बैंक में आप जिससे बात करते हो वो आपको ओटीपी नहीं भेजता। they are always sent by a third party service provider. It can be a call center. So अगर अगर आपको ऐसा एक फीलिंग होता है कि नहीं मेरा ऐसा हुआ है, you should ask the bank, go back to the bank and आपके पासबुक में ये एंट्री करवा के लेना ज़रूरी है, because when you do that passbook entry then you will come to know कहाँ कटा है and what time it was cut and for what purpose. तो आप अगर कई बार आपको जब कंटिन्यूसली ये कटता रहेगा देन यू नो फॉर व्हाट रीजन इज कट। क्योंकि कई बार ऐसा होता है कि दे कट दैट, अभी सपोज मिनिमम बैलेंस नहीं हमने मेंटेन किया, अभी मैंने आज मिनिमम बैलेंस नहीं मेंटेन किया, सो उसका एक टाइम फ्रेम होता है कि आप मिनिमम बैलेंस नहीं मेंटेन करोगे तो आपका इतना चार्जेस कटेगा, बट वो एक 2 घंटे के लिए नहीं मेंटेन किया तो आपका काटा, ऐसा सब चीजें होते हैं। तो ये जरूरी है कि आप बैंक के पासबुक एंट्री में उसको हाईलाइट करके उसका क्वेश्चन करें, बिकॉज ओनली देन यू विल बी एबल टू कम टू नो कि क्या हुआ है। एंड ये लगातार अगर होता रहेगा तो इट इज इम्पोर्टेंट यू एड्रेस इट। तो क्या होता है कि व्हेन यू एड्रेस द प्रॉब्लम दे आर मेकिंग अ चेक ऑफ दैट। तो कोई ना कोई जो इन्फॉर्मेशन कहाँ से मिला होगा उसको खबर तो पड़ेगा कि यस ये व्यक्ति देख रहा है स्टेटमेंट्स, तो छोटा अमाउंट हो तो भी दिस पर्सन इज वेरी केयरफुल अबाउट इट।
थैंक यू मैडम।
जो क्वेश्चन पूछना चाहते हैं डॉक्टर सईद सर, कैन यू आस्क? अनम्यूट हो जाइए।
क्वेश्चन बोल के नहीं है। आई थैंक रेनी मैम फॉर चूजिंग दिस कंटेम्प्रेरी सब्जेक्ट which is related in our day to day life. As friends we know that this online education e-learning, this is the need of the time, and national education policy 2020 is saying about this blended mode of education, online and offline, that has become compulsory. And we are हम हमारे स्टूडेंट्स को भी इसमें इन्वॉल्व कर रहे हैं, तो सिक्योरिटी बहुत जरूरी है मैम। अभी हम देख रहे हैं कि दिस इज द वर्ल्ड ऑफ क्रिप्टो करेंसी एंड डिजिटल करेंसी। इसमें तो ये बहुत जरूरी है। लाखों आपके डॉलर्स यूं ही चले जाते हैं। आपको बहुत सिक्योर रहना पड़ेगा, प्रोटेक्टेड रहना पड़ेगा। ये पूरा टेक्निकल आज का सेशन था। मुझे नहीं लगता कि 1 घंटे में हम इसका नॉलेज दे सकते हैं। मुझे तो ऐसा लगता है बेटकर सर को आई रिक्वेस्ट बेटकर सर इसको और थोड़ा रिपीट करेंगे तो अच्छा होगा। तो 1 घंटे में हम ये नहीं सीख पाएंगे।
जी जी,
ये तो साइबर सिक्योरिटी इट इज वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट सब्जेक्ट टुडे।
थैंक यू
So
सर।
thank you for choosing this contemporary subject. Thank you, ma'am.
थैंक यू
And
सर।
very nice presentation by you.
Oh, thank you so much.
मैडम को रिक्वेस्ट करेंगे कि जो कुछ बचे वाले पॉइंट है जो हमें और मालूम होने चाहिए और कभी
जैसे कि अभी ओटीपी की वगैरह बात हो गई अभी। अब हर चीज को ओटीपी हमको देना पड़ता है। अब देखो प्ले स्टोर से हम कुछ नए ऐप लेते हैं, डाउनलोड करते हैं तो एक्सेस मांगता है। वो तुम्हारी फोटो गैलरी का एक्सेस मांगता है ना, हर चीज का एक्सेस वो मांगता है। मतलब हमारा जो प्राइवेसी है वो पूरा भंग हो गया है, लोगों के पास चला जा रहा है ऑनलाइन। अभी मुझे बार बार कॉल आते हैं कि मुझे भी पता नहीं रहता कि मेरे कार का इंश्योरेंस खत्म हो रहा है। तो मुझे कॉल आते हैं अलग अलग एजेंसी के, कंपनी के, सर आपका एक्सपायर हो रहा है कार का, तो आप प्लीज रिन्यूअल कीजिए। मतलब ऑनलाइन सब अवेलेबल, हमारा पूरा जो प्राइवेट डेटा है दैट इज अवेलेबल ऑनलाइन। तो अभी कोई प्राइवेसी रही नहीं है, मतलब ऑनलाइन चली गई है वो। तो थोड़ा हमको सतर्क रहना पड़ेगा, ये मैं मानता हूँ।
थैंक यू सर, थैंक यू। गले लास्ट वेबिनार सीरीज में हमारे रिसोर्स पर्सन मैडम थे, तो जब जूम का निकला था कि जूम पे कोई डाटा मत भेजो, तो मैडम बोले कि सर मैं ज्वाइन नहीं कर सकती, मैं डाटा नहीं दे सकती उसके ऊपर और ज्वाइन नहीं हो सकती। ठीक है बोला मैं मैडम, तो ऐसे होता है जब तक उनको कि जो आप जूम पे दे रहे, जो डाटा आप जूम पे दे रहे हो अपने व्हाट्सएप पे भी है ना जी वाली इन्फॉर्मेशन सेम ऐसा। तो ऐसे होता है कि सबको केयर देना है, कोई बात नहीं। सर स्वानंद शुक्ला सर प्लीज। स्वानंद शुक्ला सर आप पूछने वाले थे, मैं अंदर इंटरप्ट कर दिया, पूछिए सर।
Hello, thank you very much, madam, for this. This is very important issue because nowadays the digitalization and various aspects we are using, and there is always a threat on one side that our information may be leaked or our information may be hacked by someone. Because we are involved in a various research work and other things. So it becomes so important to have a kind of a lock system for this, what we can say, all these aspects. Nowadays, a very important thing is cyber crimes are taking place, and number of people are fooled by these cyber crimes. So one has to. This is a new way of stealing money, or this is a new way of fooling people. So definitely, one has to be very careful in the classroom. Definitely, we have experienced a lot during the COVID time where we were using all this media, Zoom and Google and other things, media, where the people, students were not good listener for that. In the classroom, we could have attention and we can find out how much involvement is there in the classroom. We can easily find it out. But over here, even we are asking them to make their screen on and so many things. It was very difficult. But definitely on one side, other side, we have to think in that way. The education should be welcoming and it should come from the interest of the student. So the interested students, definitely they will stick to the business. One more thing point I remembered, when you were discussing that in my classroom, I'm asked to take a simultaneous notes of whatever I'm teaching in the classroom. But over there, people were taking, the screenshots, and people were doing the, taking photographs on their mobile, and the writing skills really got hampered during that time. So the wonderful session, madam. Thank you for giving such a wonderful information. Definitely, we will see all these perspectives in our day-to-day practice. Thank you. Excellent for the excellent presentation. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
आज का सेशन सबके लिए अच्छा ही रहा है। आपका प्रेजेंटेशन जो आपके पीपीटी पे था वो मैक्सिमम सबके समझ में आया है। तो मुझे याद है कि गए वेबिनार सीरीज में मैं मैडम को एक क्वेश्चन पूछा था कि मैडम जो अपनी एसबीआई की वेबसाइट है वैसी दूसरी बना के जो अपने लिए फंसाते हैं, तो ऐसे बारे में क्या करें। तो उन्होंने एक थोड़ा सा आंसर दिया था, मुझे आज भी याद है। वो बोली कि पहले उनको फेक ईमेल जो दे दो का अपना कोड, जो अपन लॉगिन कोड करते हैं ना, वो फेक दे दो। अगर वो ले गए, एक्सेप्ट करते, समझे कि वो गलत है, सही है तो वो क्या करता, नहीं नहीं नया दे दो। तो ऐसा ट्रिक भी थोड़ा यूज करना पड़ेगा, तो बहुत सिक्योर रहना पड़ेगा। 10-12 साल मैंने पहले गोवा में मैं एक ऐसा कोर्स किया था, बोलता हमारा रिफ्रेशर कोर्स था। तो उन्होंने अपनी यूनिवर्सिटी की वेबसाइट कैसे सिक्योर की वाले वो बहुत डिटेल से बोले थे। तो जो हम नेटवर्क यूज़ करते हैं अपने कॉलेज का, यूनिवर्सिटी का, उसको मैक्सिमम सिक्योर करने का एडमिन का काम है, वो करना चाहिए। बहुत कुछ अच्छी जो बातें स्टूडेंट के लिए आपने बोले वाले, वो सबके लिए यूजफुल है। स्टूडेंट ने वो काम जो सिक्योरिटी के बारे में रहना चाहिए, जैसे आपने कहा कि पॉपअप बहुत आते हैं, स्टूडेंट हमारे सिस्टम क्या स्पीड अप करने के लिए ऐसा कुछ तो अपने को बोल के वो फंसाते हैं, ऐसा समझो। ये सब बातें आपने कहने से हमारा नॉलेज तो बढ़ गया है, और सब हम अच्छी केयर करेंगे। और हमारे सैयद साहब, डॉक्टर सैयद साहब जो इंग्लिश के हेड है, उनकी इच्छा जो है कि जो बच्चे वाले कुछ पॉइंट है सिक्योरिटी के लिए, आपका स्वागत है। फिर आप कभी हमारे लिए टाइम निकालो।
थैंक यू सर।
Sure, sir.
तो हम हमारी सभी मेरे ऑर्गेनाइजेशन सभी पार्टिसिपेंट की तरफ से आपके महाविद्यालय को जो ए ग्रेड मिला है उसके आपका, अभी आपके प्रिंसिपल का, सभी टीम का हम अभिनंदन करते हैं।
Congratulations.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much.
तो हम अभी टाइम हुआ है, हम आप सबका थैंक यू बोलते हैं, और फीडबैक की लिंक जो हमारे पार्टिसिपेंट
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you. Yeah. Thank you so much. It was a pleasure. Thank you so much. Okay.
यूट्यूब की लिंक मैं सबके लिए देता हूँ आज ही, तो आप सभी भी उसका यूज कर सकते हैं।
So may I leave?
Yes, madam.